a clown. That's what you. Why don't you call me a cardboard bishop now? Huh? You tough? Call me a cardboard bishop now.
He's not gonna call you that.
Huh? Look on Facebook Live. Call me a cardboard bishop now. You clown. That's what you are. You clown. That's what you are. Why don't you say what you say on Facebook Live, sucker?
No.
Got it?
Yeah. 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 So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge. They don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like. Wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hello, everyone. It's Pam Esquire, also known as Your Law Intellect. I know you guys missed that video on Whitehead, so I had to throw it in there so you guys can get a good laugh. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantabulous day. Thank you for all of you guys that have already hit the like. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like on your way to your seat and make sure you hit subscribe to the channel. We have a good time over here. Hey, that's my sister, my real sister, Jennifer. What up, though? Deborah, thank you so much for coming and supporting Cupcakes, Taking Flight, TD, Marnie, Jess D1, LaFrance, Leela, Junebug. Man, thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for coming over here. We do have a special guest that's going to come on so we can, our main topic is going to be Rudy Giuliani. If we feel so inclined, we may go over a few things at Whitehead. You guys know my cup runneth over, but I can't keep getting behind on all my other cases that I started. And because he just has so much that's going on in his life. But I know some people inbox me and text me and email me, and I got your messages. And yeah, if we got time, we may go over there. But right now we back. I don't know what's up with these people from New York. New York is just a special place. It's just a special place where a lot of special things occur. And this situation with Rudy Giuliani is no different. There are a couple of lawsuits that were filed against him last week. One of the lawsuits that we will first discuss had to do with a video that I did when I first started this channel about a year ago, and it was about an alleged assault. So if you guys haven't seen that, it was on a video upload. It was before I even went live, before I knew how fun it was to communicate with the chat like I do. Yeah, it was before. I mean, I was just trying to figure out if I want to do this YouTube thing, but you guys made it worthwhile and made me want to keep making videos. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the Rudy Giuliani situation, again, it was about a year ago. It's coming full circle. So I am going to play that in a few so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And let's see. And go over there and like my video so I can get some likes over there on that old video that I'm going to be playing today. It really is old. It was literally one of my first videos I had ever done. Let me see. Let's go back here so you guys can hear the whole thing. Supported this channel since I have started it. I want you to like it. I want you to share and let everyone know that the Law Intellect is on. So what we're going to talk about today, we're just going to get right to it, okay? Rudy Giuliani, the former mayor of New York City, also Trump's confidant, who is now mixed up in everything that has to do with Trump. I believe he became one of his legal advisor and started running around with this whole fraud that came to this election with Biden. But we're not going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about Rudy Giuliani claiming that he was assaulted by a man who clearly just patted him on his back when he saw him. And he has been so dramatic, going from news outlet to outlet, claiming he's a 70-year-old man, 78-year-old man, and that he was hit so hard he almost stumbled. I'm going to show you that video, and I want you to tell me, what do you think? Do you think Rudy Giuliani was exaggerating? Because to me, it seems like he filed false charges. But I'm gonna let you be the judge, my law intellects.
New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani slapped on the back inside of a ShopRite on Staten Island.
In the video, you can see the employee do that and then walk away. The employee's not facing charges.
Y'all see the slap on the back?
Giuliani says he wants to make sure that man is prosecuted. News 4's Erica Byfield covering it. She's in the newsroom to update us. Erica.
Hi, David. Yeah, well, Rudy Giuliani had so much to say about this slap that he actually held 2 news conferences today. He's upset that store employee who touched him is only facing a misdemeanor.
And he hit me to knock me down. Now, if that doesn't merit you jail time in New York, we got the Wild West here.
Rudy Giuliani came out swinging himself Monday, one day after he says that he was attacked. Surveillance shows the moment that the 78-year-old says left him so bruised that he had trouble sleeping. It was Sunday around 3 p.m. when a ShopRite employee put his hand on Giuliani's back. A woman shoulder to shoulder with the former New York City mayor when it happened says that the Republican was targeted.
And said to him, "Hey!"
Giuliani thinks that the store employee took offense to his pro-life stance. He says that the video doesn't tell the whole story, telling us that the blow made him stumble, nearly fall. He says that he's now in pain and battling swelling.
But I'm telling you, it was a very, very heavy shot. Now, I'm 78 years old. I'm in pretty good shape for a 78-year-old. The most dangerous thing for elderly people is to fall.
He was in that Staten Island grocery store campaigning for his son Andrew, who was running for governor. Shortly after the incident, police arrested 39-year-old Daniel Gill, originally charged with a felony. Monday, the DA downgraded it to 3 misdemeanors. Giuliani is fuming.
You think I worry about this little punk? I worry about this little punk for you. Because if he can come and hit me, a 70-year-old man, next thing he does is going to hit you.
The Legal Aid Society is representing Gill. A spokesperson told us that Gill has no criminal history and called the charges inconsistent with existing law. The attorney also says that after that incident, one of Giuliani's associates followed and taunted Gill. We spoke to a legal expert who has no ties to this case.
Hey, Thais.
Hey. I'm trying to get settled in. And listen, food came right when you called, so I was trying to eat real fast. But listen, it's always some food with me, Pam. Okay. It's always some food, sis, but I'm here.
And I appreciate you being here.
Okay.
But yeah, did you see that video, Julia? See, they tripping in New York. That's why I said, do you want to come on and talk about how this New York system is just starting to appear a little comical almost?
Yeah, because I've always said that there's absolutely something over there in New York where people really know that the system works a certain way and they take advantage of it. Because even with other cases, we ain't got to talk about that case, but even with other cases, it's like, how do you know that you're going to be able to cut up like that legally and just go from court to court and court hop? How do you know that unless the system has been that way for a long time?
Well, apparently last week, you see that the man was charged and had to go to court, had his mask on, all because he patted this man on the back. of course, Giuliani got connections, so that probably was part of why it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has filed a lawsuit against Giuliani.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he said, "Yeah, not today. You're not going to have me pretty much go to jail, and you don't face any consequences for it."
But that was not even. It looked like it wasn't even that hard. Like, how did you get all of that from just a light? From what I can see.
Yeah, I don't listen. I don't know. I have no clue. Let me see if I could find this lawsuit.
Somebody said, "Is it a criminal-friendly state?" Well, no, that's California. That would be my state.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean a criminal-friendly state? Like, what are you referring to?
It is the legal system, on the side of the criminal. Thank you, Yolanda Gibson.
Why would that be? Why would you guys make that assumption?
That's narco detective. I'm just reading the comment. Like, listen, I don't have a dog in the race in New York. I heard that New York kind of mirrors Chicago and Baltimore with their legal systems, but I've never experienced the New York justice system or the civil or criminal side of New York, so I don't know.
And so this is the lawsuit. Let me see if I can make this bigger.
Okay.
So this is the lawsuit that is was filed. His name is Daniel Gill. And go over here.
And that's the man that did the alleged hitting?
Yes, Daniel Gill is the plaintiff. He is suing Rudolph Giuliani, the city of New York, police officer Matthew T. McCarthy, Detective Michael Levy, Sergeant. Oh, he's suing those people in the NYPD that had anything to do with his arrest, as he should.
Oh, he's not playing.
Not playing with y'all.
Okay.
So what he says is the nature of the action. He says this is a civil action pursuant to 42 U.S.C. Section 1983. We just call these 1983 cases, 1985 and 1988, and New York State tort law seeking monetary damages from defendants for false arrest, civil rights conspiracy resulting in false arrest, and false imprisonment, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and negligent infliction of emotional distress.
Baby.
Said he is not playing. He said on June 26, 2022, plaintiff Gill was working at his customary job at ShopRite, located in Staten Island. Defendant Giuliani, campaigning for his son's vanity run for governor of the state of New York, entered that venue for a typical campaign, quote, meet and greet, end quote. While defendant Giuliani was among his supporters, plaintiff Gill placed his hand on defendant Giuliani's back and called him a scumbag.
No lies detected. Mm-hmm.
Video footage captured the entire encounter. One person called 911 and the police defendant McCarthy and police officer Weech arrived on the scene, followed by other NYPD officers and defendant Sergeant Malata. The police defendant named herein and defendant Giuliani agreed to deprive plaintiff of his liberty. At the assistance of defendant Giuliani, plaintiff was falsely arresting him for a violent felony offense. At the insistence of defendant Giuliani, the plaintiff was put through the system, quote, and incarcerated for 21 hours prior to arraignment. The defendants did so despite possessing the surveillance video that conclusively belied defendant Giuliani's account of what transpired and established that plaintiff committed no crime. They did so despite the fact that the police defendants and other members of the NYPD all stated they should watch the video before taking any action against plaintiff. Plaintiff explained that he tapped defendant Giuliani to get his attention, a version of events completely corroborated by the video. Due to the false arrest and the inflated nature of the charge, plaintiff was denied a desk appearance ticket based on the false statement by police defendants that there was an immediate need to seek an order of protection. Oh my God.
Mm.
So he couldn't just get a ticket. He said because he needed an order of protection. Plaintiff spent 21 hours in custody and was released on June 27, 2022. After the charges were downgraded to a misdemeanor, they have been since dismissed. Defendant Giuliani, not satisfied with the results of his unlawful agreement with the NYPD to detain defendant, went on a media tour touting, expanding upon, embellishing, and outright lying about his, quote, wounds from the encounter, falsely claiming that he was suffering a variety of serious physical injury of a result of the attack, and engaging in a pattern of false and defamatory statements against plaintiff, both before and after the videotape was publicly released. Plaintiff now seeks damages for this intentional misconduct. What say ye about his allegations, Thais?
This reminds me of a lady in my hometown, Pasadena, California. Everybody knew her. Her name was Tasha Thomas.
Okay.
And she, if you, like I said, one time I was in a grocery store, I lightly tapped somebody's basket.
Mm-hmm.
And they grab their neck. There are some people. This reminds me of Tasha Thomas, and she has so many lawsuits and so many cases. And this is before you could cross-check. The insurance commission used to, now they can cross-check. Back then, Pam, you could have multiple lawsuits going all across town.
Oh, we seen this. Don't we see this going on in New York?
So these people got to really understand what's going on here. This is it has residue of Tasha Thomas on it. Ain't nothing wrong with you, you know what I'm saying? But your ego is wounded because he said you was a scumbag. And America agrees. See, America looked at him as what do they call him? America's mayor.
America's mayor, yep.
Oh no, New Yorkers knew totally different. They knew Rudy Giuliani was always a scumbag, according to the man. Okay, so yeah.
All right, let's go on. Okay, so then they go facts. It says, "Shop right. We're all about food. We're all about saving. We're all about you." I don't know why they put all that on there. Was that advertisement?
Wow.
I don't know. That's interesting. The ShopRite on 3010 Veterans Road West is nestled in a commercial part of Staten Island South Shore next to Fairview Park and only blocks from Richmond Borough Gun Club. The area is bastion of white conservatism and Trump support. It is one of the vanishingly small venues in New York where the fabulous election-denying disbarred attorney and late-night talk show punchline former Mayor Rudy Giuliani could expect to find a mostly affectionate audience. It is served by the 123rd precinct. Wow, that was a interesting paragraph.
Well, it's the truth because listen, this man has devolved into late night following, just a punchline, a literal punchline. This man it looked like shoe polish, Pam. It looked like tar running down his face, and nobody even cared enough to tell you.
I saw that picture. I started to use it in my thumbnail, but I thought I was going too far.
Rudy, it looked like licorice is running down your face. Rudy, didn't nobody even care. He don't even have good friends.
Or a mirror, huh? He don't got
a mirror.
Here. On June 26, 2022, Giuliani chose that location to appear at an impromptu campaign stop for his son, Andrew, who was running a semi-comical or semi-serious campaign for Republican nominee for governor based upon his last name and his role as the former president's golfing buddy. This is the most shadiest. Baby,
they are throwing doozies.
This complaint is shade. Shade and facts. Video footage of the event shows that it was a typical campaign meet and greet. Giuliani mingled with the shoppers, who variously shook his hand, patted him on the back and shoulders, tapped him on the arm, and generally told him what a great guy he was. Indeed, a woman is shown in the video affectionately patting and rubbing Giuliani's back, demonstrating at least that minor physical contact was welcome at the event. Not everyone present at the time was thrilled at Giuliani's appearance. Plaintiff Daniel Gill worked at the ShopRite and had done so for many years, in contrast to Giuliani, who has not held an actual job in over a decade. Plaintiff took a break from his work, walked up to defendant Giuliani, patted or tapped him on the back and said, "What's up, scumbag?" and walked away. That was the entire encounter between the two men. Someone called 911 and reported that the plaintiff had put his hands on Giuliani. The video taken of the encounter shows plaintiff either tapping or patting Giuliani on the back in an effort to get his attention so Mr. Gill could deliver his message. The videotape captures the full encounter between the two. There is no reasonable view of the video that shows plaintiff committing a crime. Despite the fact that the 911 call did not allege that any actual crime was committed, defendant McCarthy and police officer Weech came to the scene to be joined by many other members of the NYPD. Don't that sound familiar?
Very.
Most of whom simply stood around looking big and are not named as defendants herein. That's really reminiscent.
Interesting.
Very reminiscent. Defendant McCarthy was the first police officer to speak with defendant Giuliani. Defendant Giuliani stated that he wanted plaintiff arrested. Defendant Giuliani stated that plaintiff smacked him very, very hard on the back, and I want him arrested. Defendant Giuliani then went on a mumbling rant about how there was no crime when he was mayor, and this is what happens under the scumbag mayor that you have.
Oh, wow.
Giuliani. Defendant Giuliani specifically and clearly stated that I'm not injured. He went on to explain that he did not want an ambulance, but wanted a police car to put him in handcuffs. Defendant McCarthy stated, "We are going to see what we can do for you, okay?" Oh, wow. That's what you said, McCarthy? Defendant McCarthy or police officer Welch, whatever, or both referred to defendant Giuliani as the mayor. Plaintiff Gill was with the store security office, was then placed under police guard. He was not free to leave. He begged the various police officers to just watch the video, which they had obtained. Defendant Sergeant Mulata then arrived on the scene. He spoke with defendant Giuliani, who then began concocting a story, now claiming that plaintiff hit me on the back very, very hard and my back hurts.
See, what it is, Pam, is that people know that back injuries are hard to really see. Doctors tell you that they can a lot of times pinpoint some back pain. So all you got to say is my neck, my back. You know what I'm saying?
Don't finish the song on my platform.
No, that's all you got to say is my neck or my back. And you know you got a leeway, carte blanche. And the legal system, you see what I'm saying? I ain't gonna finish the rest.
Sometimes I have to stop you. I just have to make sure.
Oh no, I was gonna finish the rest.
Without reviewing the video, defendant Mulata directed that plaintiff be handcuffed and taken to a show up to make sure that he was indeed the Rudy Tapper. Once that was confirmed, plaintiff was taken into custody. The video still had not been reviewed. Defendant McCarthy was designated as the arresting officer. He had already been told by defendant Giuliani that he was not injured. Defendant McCarthy then approached defendant Giuliani to make sure my story is exactly straight. Oh, wow. Defendant Giuliani lied, stating, quote, all of a sudden, I feel this bam, sweeping his arm.
Somebody just
forward a little bit.
Somebody just put Pam. Does anybody remember when Rudy blew his nose into a handkerchief, then wiped his mouth and face with it? I can't, y'all. I can't do this. It's too much.
You know what? I'm not.
And Pam, you're not covering the other case with Rudy, are you? The lady.
Yeah, I was going to do the article. I'm not going. Her lawsuit is really long.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
It's very long.
Rudy is on one, seem like lately. Wow.
Oh, he is. Wow. Okay, so defendant Giuliani lies, saying, all of a sudden I feel that bam, sweeping his arm forward that knocks me forward a bit. Just to make sure the story was straight, defendant McCarthy asked directly, "You felt pain?" Defendant Giuliani parroted, "I felt pain." Plaintiff was arrested by defendant McCarthy. An order from defendant Mulata. They charged plaintiff with the Class D violent felony. He was held in custody for 21 hours. The false complaint and charge were approved by defendant Levay, who did review the videotape, and Coughlin. Defendant supervisors John Doe also approved the charges. Plaintiff was denied a desk appearance ticket by defendant Coughlin on the false ground that there was an immediate need for an order of protection. Even though the two men were complete strangers to each other, and it was defendant Giuliani who walked into plaintiff's place of business. Defendant Giuliani civil rights conspiracy with the police defendants was confirmed by defendant Giuliani himself. Specifically, defendant Giuliani stated publicly, "The police were great. This is Staten Island. The cops out here, they are on their own. Some guys in the DA's office was trying to lower the charges, and the cops said no. This is a 78-year-old guy. This is assault 2. No assault 3. This guy is going in." I don't understand that, because the police recommends charges, and then the DA approves them, lowers them, higher, makes them higher, dismisses them, adds them, or whatever. So how was the cops able to tell the DA what type of charges there needed to be? I don't know.
The question I have, Pam, I wasn't sure when this happened. Who was the mayor and who was the police commissioner at the time? Do you know?
This was last year, so I want to say, who is that? Who is the mayor? Is that Adams?
Yeah, Mayor Adams. Yeah, he was.
He just started, right? Didn't Adams just start?
Yeah, Adams been there for a while.
Okay.
Staten Island is a different move. Look at Eric Gard. Well, yeah.
Defendant Giuliani further stated, "It's a little different out here. Police have a lot more support here. Even the DA here is a lot better. So I think we have a chance of getting this guy prosecuted. This is a great example of the broken windows theory. You don't let a guy like this get away with something like this, because then they try something worse."
Child, they act like this man is Dr. Kevorkian or the Night Stalker. Child, you know what?
If I was not reading this for myself, I would say, yeah, okay. That's why I said the news articles don't do some of these complaints justice on what is alleged. This is a complaint, everyone. It is all allegations. There's a whole lot of quotes in here, so I'm wondering where they got these quotes from. But anyway, the unsustainable charges were downgraded as soon as the videotape was publicly released to assault in the 3rd degree. The criminal complaint that was sworn to by defendant McCarthy states that plaintiff did strike Giuliani in the back, causing the Giuliani to stumble forward and causing informant physical injury, including but not limited to redness, swelling, substantial pain in the back and left side of his body, as well as causing Giuliani to be placed in fear of physical injury. These statements were made by defendant McCarthy, despite the fact that defendant Giuliani initially insisted to him that he was not injured and was not afraid of anything plaintiff Gil might do to him. Even when defendant McCarthy coached defendant Giuliani to say that the tap hurt, he did not describe the pain as substantial at the time the complaint was drafted. Moreover, the videotape conclusively belied defendant Giuliani's contention that he stumbled forward. That's what I'm like. He didn't even stumble on that video. He just kind of looked around.
And then, man, he talking about in fear for his safety. You was up there, and you was the mayor up there in New York, and you was up there with them mafiosos and mafia guys, and Rudy, come on, you wasn't that damn scared for your damn safety, your life. You've been hanging out with the Gambino cartels and all these people, and now you scared all of a sudden. Listen, come on, Rudy. I think Rudy may be in the early stages. I ain't trying to be no medical doctor, Pam. But it may be the early stages of y'all don't know me no more,
You know what? Listen, Ty, don't have them people coming to my house with that white van because you over here talking about Rudy Giuliani.
Listen, that's just my opinion. I don't know how you scared, and you was the mayor
up here.
You were the mayor during the height of all of the drama in New York City. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. That ain't on Pam.
Dang, Toria Williams, what? Not the entire family.
You hung out with the whole, Gotti family, the Gambinos, the Ravioli family, and now you sit up here acting like you scared because somebody did a love tap on your shoulder, and now you falling all over to oh my back. Oh boy, if you don't knock it off, I think Rudy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Rudy's ready for Shady Pines. I think Rudy is ready for Shady Pines, honey. Yeah.
All right, let me continue. On July 6, 2022, defendant Giuliani swore to these allegations knowing they were false. On September 21st, 2022, the case was adjourned in contemplation of dismissal. 6 months thereafter, it was dismissed. Defendant Giuliani engaged in a pattern of very public false statements about plaintiff. A, defendant Giuliani falsely stated that plaintiff said to him, quote, "You effing this, you effing that." He then says, "You're going to kill babies." No, not babies. You're going to kill women. What?
Oh.
B, defendant Giuliani falsely stated that plaintiff appeared drunk or high. C, defendant Giuliani mocked plaintiff, referring to him as a little squirt and a little shit, commenting that little shit is not going to stop me, falsely stating that plaintiff somehow want to stop defendant Giuliani from doing so. Giuliani don't care. He said,
"Baby, this is like a bad SNL sketch." If I didn't know this was real, Pam, I'd be like, "Is this a skit for Saturday Night Live?"
Giuliani say whatever he want to say. He does not care.
Somebody said, "Mother, they gonna want your address here. Tell her my address is 123 Main Street."
I got an address in New York.
Mm-hmm. P.O. Box 555.
Send them over there to the UPS store.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
I can't believe this guy. I cannot believe this man would be this petty, Pam, really, to be this petty with just a light tap on the back is causing him to go to this limb.
I would have sued him. No, I think this was a good move to sue him because this is ridiculous. Like, just because you have some type of a relationship with people, the NYPD or whoever, for you to make this as big as it is. It took 6 months to get these charges dismissed. I mean, he's probably been to court. I think he got suspended from his job. That's financial. I mean, like, you've caused, and then he did. You saw the video that I played in the beginning. He went on a press tour. That's how I saw it. I'm like, where's this where's this shove at? Where is this assault?
Yeah.
And it went this far. Look how long it took for the charges to be dropped. So I would have sued him too.
Yeah, you deserve some type of redress after all of that, because that press tour can do more damage than people think it can do, because it can affect your ability to get work in the area if you are, trying to get employed, or even if you have a business already, it can do damage to your reputation. So yeah, I agree, Pam. He really deserves to do what he did if he did file a countersuit.
Yeah. So defendant Giuliani falsely stated that plaintiff was, quote, probably looking for an 85-year-old to knock over. Oh, I skipped one. D. Defendant Giuliani falsely referred to plaintiff as part of, quote, criminals who were taught no respect by Joe Biden.
Yeah, I was gonna bring Uncle Joe up in there. I know Uncle Joe be like, "What now? What I got to do with it?" Same way, Mayor. I know Mayor Adams be like, "What I got to do? Leave me out of it."
He can't get no rest. Oh my goodness. Defendant Giuliani falsely stated that, quote, "I worry about this little punk for you because if he can come and hit me, a 70-year-old, next thing you know, he's going to hit you." That was in the video we played in the beginning when he said that. G, when the charges were downgraded, defendant Giuliani again falsely referred to plaintiff as a, quote, criminal, stating, "Finally, I thought we had a DA in New York and Staten Island who was a real DA in favor of protecting victims and not letting criminals go free." Defendant Giuliani also engaged in a pattern of false and defamatory statements about the non-existent injury he suffered. A, defendant Giuliani falsely stated, quote, "All of a sudden, I feel a shot on my back like somebody shot me. I went forward, but luckily I didn't fall down. Lucky I'm a 78-year-old who's in pretty good shape, because if I wasn't, I'd have hit the ground and probably would have cracked my skull. He is so dramatic.
He's learned from the best. He's been under Trump a long time. He's learned from the best.
Defendant Giuliani falsely stated, quote, I got hit as if a boulder hit me. It knocked me forward a step or two. It didn't knock me down, but it hurt tremendously. See, defendant Giuliani falsely claimed he was suffering from swelling about his left scapula, that his left arm hurt, that his shoulder hurts like hell, that he has a big lump on the back, and suggesting that the stents he had inserted for pre-existing cardiac condition were a consequence of Mr. Gill's pack. So he had to get stents.
You know what? I think it's high time, Pam, that if some of these lawsuits are found to be frivolous and you know, whatever the word I'm looking for, I think people need to pay there needs to be repercussions for this, because it's already the judicial system is already bogged up and weighed down already. And then when you add all these cases on top of that, that's why there's so much judicial gridlock.
Yeah.
You know, ain't nothing wrong with you. And to be this petty it's sad of a man of his, I wouldn't even say stature, caliber.
Toria says, I was in a restaurant in Manhattan back in the early 2001. He was in there sending his drink back because the waitress did not make his drink right. We gave her $25 for all he did to her.
Oh, wow.
So he been out here running amok for a long time.
Oh, yeah, he been cutting up. Somebody said earlier, this is giving Ezel from Friday vibes. My neck, you know what he said?
He looking real Jussie Smollett right now.
Very, very Jussie Smollett.
That's how it's looking.
And somebody said, Pam, let's see the video again. I think we missed something. What did we miss?
Nah, you didn't miss anything. That's why those charges got dismissed. And now all these officers getting sued. So the first cause of action is against the NYPD.
Deservedly so.
They say the second cause for unreasonable, let me read it. Acting individually and in concert, the police defendants deprive plaintiff of his rights under the 1st, 4th, 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States to be free of unreasonable seizure, to enjoy his liberty without unlawful interference therewith, and to criticize former and future public officials free of unlawful retribution. Second cause of action, they're saying it's a civil rights conspiracy. All defendants that participated in an unlawful conspiracy to deprive plaintiff of his right to liberty, to his right to speak freely without retribution, and to be free from unreasonable seizures in violation of his rights on the 1st, 4th, and 14th Amendments to the Constitution of the United States. The third cause of action is false arrest. New York State tort law, police defendants, and the city of New York. They are not playing. The police defendants individually and in concert detained, arrested, confined, and caused the confinement of plaintiff without any privilege or right to do so. Plaintiff was conscious of his confinement and did not consent to said confinement. The city of New York is liable for their conduct pursuant to the doctrine of respondent superior, basically because they're the boss. That makes the city liable. The fourth cause of action, pendent jurisdiction. Pendent jurisdiction is when you have state claims, you have to, in order for the federal court has to say they'll take jurisdiction of your state claims. So defendant Giuliani's public statements about plaintiff and plaintiff's conduct were false, were made negligently, recklessly, and maliciously, were published through multiple third parties, caused plaintiff to suffer loss of his job, threats, and damages to his reputation, and also were defamatory per se. So there's a defamation lawsuit. Also, the fifth cause of action, defendant Giuliani's conduct and statements were unlawful and outrageous, made for the purpose of inflicting emotional distress on plaintiff, and did inflict said emotional distress. Sixth cause of action, defendant Giuliani's false statements to law enforcement, including one that was made under oath and subject to prosecution. You think they'll bring charges to him for false allegations? What you think?
False allegations against Rudy?
No, like this, no, for against Rudy Giuliani for swearing falsely that he was injured in all of this, but the video showing something different. I guess my only thing would be, I think the video was available and they still went through with it for about 6 months, huh?
It's hard to get that type of accountability from what would you say, the prosecutor, for somebody of his, stature. I don't know if they will, Pam. I don't think so.
Well, dang, he asking for a whole lot of zeros.
Oh wow,
Compensatory damages of not less than 2, 000, 000.
Is that million?
2 million.
Oh wow.
Punitive damages. So he wants them to be punished for this type of behavior. And then reasonable attorney fees. So if you do any type of lawsuit under a 1983 case and you make it under section 1988, if you win, your attorney is entitled to attorney fees. For prejudgment interest is allowed by law, and for such other and further relief as this court may deem just and proper. So that is the lawsuit that has been filed against New York's former mayor, Rudy Giuliani. But of course,
somebody needs to say it, Pam. Somebody needs to say what needs to be said. And them children, y'all need to come get y'all daddy. To the kids, somebody needs to come up here and get your daddy, because there's a lot going on up here with your daddy up here at the courthouse and stuff. So come get your daddy. $2 million seems low. Somebody say
that's what my sister said. She know what's up. She know I would have probably did 20.
Does Rudy even have? No, I don't think Rudy and Donald, I don't think they have as much money as people think they have. I really don't.
Rudy is very connected and protected. I listen. It's slowly coming down on some of these Teflon Don New Yorkers, though. It's starting to slowly come down on them, it appears. So
y'all need to come up here and get your daddy. Somebody needs to send a car up here to get your father, because your father up here walking around looking out the window and stuff.
Then, as you mentioned earlier, it didn't stop there. Rudy did not be outdone. He had to have another lawsuit that was filed, and I'm not going to go over that lawsuit. I'm just going to do an article because it was about 90 pages, and
yeah, it was like man,
yeah, won't have that type of time today. So we'll just so you guys can know what this lawsuit was. So good old Judy, Lord. Rudy, former associate suing Rudy Giuliani for alleged sexual assault and harassment. A former associate is suing Rudy Giuliani for sexual assault and harassment, wage theft, and other misconduct, accusing the former mayor and Trump lawyer of making, quote, sexual demands, end quote, and going on, quote, alcohol-drenched rants that included sexist, racist, and anti-Semitic remarks, end quote, many of which were recorded. There's audio, guys, allegedly. Noelle Dunphy says she began working for Giuliani in 2019 as his director of business development, and her lawsuit said Giuliani began abusing Ms. Dunphy almost immediately after she started working for him. He made clear that satisfying his sexual demands, which came virtually anytime, anywhere, was an absolute requirement of her employment and of his legal representation, the lawsuit said. Sheesh. According to Dunphy, Giuliani promised her $1 million annual salary, but the offer came with a catch. Giuliani was in the midst of an acrimonious divorce, and he told Ms. Dunphy that her pay would have to be deferred and her employment kept, quote, secret until the divorce proceedings finished. He claimed that his, quote, crazy ex-wife and her lawyers were watching his cash flow and that his ex-wife would attack and retaliate against any female employee that Giuliani hired, the lawsuit said. Part of the job required Dunphy to record her interactions with Giuliani, quote, anytime, anywhere, as well as Giuliani's interactions with others, the lawsuit said. But unbeknownst to Ms. Dunphy, Giuliani apparently decided during the interview that he would use the job offer and his representation as a pretext to develop a quid pro quo sexual relationship with Miss Dunphy. He was later recorded telling Miss Dunphy, "I've wanted you from the day I interviewed you."
Mm.
The lawsuit said. According to the lawsuit, a week into her employment, Giuliani had Dunphy flown to New York on a charter plane and insisted she stay in a guest suite in his Upper East Side apartment. The two drank, and at one point, quote, Giuliani then pulled her head into his penis without asking for or obtaining any form of consent. He held her by her hair. It became clear to Miss Dunphy that there was no way out of giving him oral sex. She did so against her will.
I would recycle bottles and cans. I would. Ooh, Lord, I'm trying to keep my food down.
I might have died that day. I don't know.
I gotta go. I just have to go apply for some food stamps or something, Pam. I couldn't do it. I just have to go apply for public assistance. If his back look like that.
That's what I'm saying. If you that fragile, was this when you was real young or something? Like when? I might have to look at the lawsuit and see the timeline of this, because I would have had to punch Giuliani in his face. I think we probably would have been fighting.
And then they said she had to wear red, white, and blue shorts, American flag shorts.
Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so Giuliani often put everything is alleged. We didn't write this complaint. We just saying what this lady said. I don't know this lady. I don't know Giuliani.
I don't know
I don't want
either.
y'all coming up with the white van in front of my house. Thais don't want you over there. We just reporting what's in the legal news. That's what we're reporting right now. When they were apart, they would often work remotely via video conference. And during those conferences, Giuliani almost always asked her to remove her clothes on camera. He often called from his bed where he was visibly touching himself under a white sheet. The lawsuit said. A spokesperson released a statement on Giuliani's behalf that said Giuliani vehemently and completely denies the allegations in the complaint and plans to thoroughly defend against these allegations. This is pure harassment and an attempt at extortion. So that is the other lawsuit that was filed the same week. There were also allegations, I believe, that wasn't he like trying to sell pardons or something allegedly because of Trump's aid. So that was part of the lawsuit as well, I believe. But of course, they only wanted to talk about the sensationalized stuff in the article. They weren't talking about all the other stuff he allegedly did.
But the big part of the story that nobody is really talking about, Pam, is the fact that this woman believed what he said. Like, you bought that? Like, I'm going to give you $1 million. But right now, everything's being put on hold because of my divorce. You really believe that, ma'am?
It sounds like it. She wanted
like,
to believe.
I promise you, I'm going to leave my wife for you. Women, don't believe that. That's not going to happen.
That usually don't happen, does it? That usually don't happen.
Also, the woman claims he did not. He wasn't. I don't think he was never going to give her $1 million, Pam. I just think that was a ploy or a means to, get her to do whatever he wanted her to do at that moment.
Yeah. I agree.
Rudy has. Wow. Isn't this like his third or fourth wife, his fifth wife?
Listen. Yeah, which wife is this he talking about? Which divorce process are we going through right now?
At the end of the day, and then I also heard that they on The View that the ladies were saying that Rudy gave her his passwords, and that's how she has a lot of access to a lot of things. It's like, well, listen, hey, if she has access to all of that stuff, then hey, no telling what all she's got a hold to, allegedly. So, Rudy, you have bigger fish to fry than this man that tapped you on the back.
You do. It sounds like you about to have some issues. So how much time you got, Thais? When is your show?
Because of Tina Turner, I'm just kind of taking it easy. I get around there when I get around there. The top spot ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
I'll walk around there when I walk around there.
Because I have. Let me see. So we gonna.
You have another case you want to go over?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch gears real quick to your favorite New York pastor.
Oh, Greasy.
You's a clown. That's what you. Why don't you call me a cardboard bishop now? You tough? Call me a cardboard bishop now.
He's not gonna call you that.
Huh? Look on Facebook Live. Call me a cardboard bishop now. You clown. That's what you are. You clown. That's what you are. Why don't you say what you say on Facebook Live, sucker?
No.
You a chief apostle. Why are you so angry?
Upset. Who did something to you? So you guys know that we've been covering Whitehead Estates over there in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to let you guys know that some of you guys were correct. When the court ordered for a receiver to take over the premises, some of y'all guessed what was going to happen. You guys guessed right. So I have to let you guys know.
Okay.
So what this is the receivership report. He says, so essentially, let's do the overview. On March 30th, 2023, the Superior Court Judicial District of Heartland entered that certain order granting motion for appointment of a receiver, addendum to memorandum of decision appointing Eon, big last name, managing partner of Chigaled for the specific asset of Whitehead Estates and Lamar Whitehead. Okay, receiver to retain vision management and maintenance to manage the property as of April 30th. The property management was being finalized. So then they put, when the court, we went over all this when the court granted the receivership. So the receiver had the order in the report. So we ain't got to go through all of that. And then they say, a bond was posted. They showed their insurance. They legit. So they say, on April 11, 2023, receiver conducted a walkthrough of the property. Throughout the month of April, the receiver contacted Mr. Whitehead and Mr. Inga regarding access to the property, as well as requested property-related information, including but not limited to rent rolls, tenant contact information, EIN, W-9 for Whitehead Estates, LLC, rents collected, current property insurance information, utility information, contact information for the super. As of April 30th, 2023, no information was turned over by Mr. Whitehead to the receiver. Demand notice to go out on May 2023. So they put pictures of the parking lot. Y'all see how the parking lot is looking.
Mm-hmm.
These are pictures allegedly inside the building. The water heaters and the window and the hole look like it's in the ceiling.
My God. Well, the women of Brewster Place.
You know what?
My goodness.
Facilities and receiver working to obtain keys to the building while also obtaining quotes to have the locks changed to the main entrance should keys not be provided. The door to the basement needs to be secured. Receiver obtaining quotes. None of the vacant units are secured. Receiver obtaining quotes to have locks changed. Some of the vacant units are completely gutted. Kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, door frames were all removed. The units that were not gutted require complete renovation. The roof is tar and gravel. There is a roof leak in one of the vacant units, which will require immediate repairs. Currently, there is a trash bin located under the leak collecting water. The parking lot is in need of repaving. The grass is overgrown. Receiver obtaining quotes to address the boiler and hot water tanks are very aged. Receiver will need to engage a vendor to inspect Receiver contacting utility companies to obtain account information, open balances, and update billing information. Receiver inquiring about current property insurance coverages. So there's y'all update. So for all of you guys that was like, you think he about to turn that stuff over? And I was like, why wouldn't he just turn the stuff over? Well, according to the receiver, this is what happened in April when he gave his report.
Okay,
You guys was right. You guys, you know, if you know.
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that video, Pam. So what exactly was the situation?
So what happened was the apartment building in Connecticut went into foreclosure.
Okay.
While the foreclosure proceedings were going on, what the finance company that sued, you know, for the foreclosure, they asked for a receiver. So the receiver, from my understanding, is to try to secure. They're saying that the building was not compliant with the fire department and city inspections and all of that. So because they're trying to get the building back as a security, obviously, because according to them, he hasn't paid on the mortgage, then they asked the court for a receiver to basically secure that building so they can hire a maintenance company and a receiver to come in, repair everything, and I guess they do all that to fix it up so it's ready to be sold, you know, whatever, to make sure it's sold. So they went to court a few times for that, and the court granted a receiver. So the receiver is supposed to, so they told him he had to turn over the keys, turn over bank accounts, turn over passwords, turn over everything that have to do with this building to the receiver. So everybody, when I did the video, they were all like, y'all know he ain't turning nothing over. And I was like,
No.
you think that he's not going to turn anything over?
We have a history. We have a long history of that.
And so apparently, according to this report, he didn't turn the information over that was requested and required by the judge.
Oh, I'm so shocked, Pam. Oh, I can't believe. Are you serious? What?
You're
wow.
not shocked?
Oh my, I'm so shocked.
You're not shocked?
So he didn't do any of the required things that he was asked to do? Nothing?
No, I guess he's supposed to turn all this stuff over to the new receiver so they can take over the property, and apparently he didn't do it according to them.
Well, hey. So are there any sanctions or penalties? Is this civil or is this criminal? Where are we looking at?
First of all,
what you have? What are we looking at?
Somebody in jail. No, I'm joking.
Is he gonna get some Chanel bracelets or the civil?
It's a civil case. Stop.
Okay.
No, it's just that's what it sounds like all they have to do perhaps is change the locks and all of that, but maybe
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but maybe they wanted them to try to turn everything over, but it seems like you want to change the locks anyway. Like, who keeps from the former person?
With him, you need to change a lot. Yeah, you need to change all that. Yeah.
So then it was, I gotta look up the response to this other.
It was crazy. It is crazy.
You know what?
He just keeps. It's just one L after another with Greasy. One L after another. Like, listen.
So I have a case that has a conclusion. So go ahead, keep talking, because I got to.
No, if all of these L's are any indication of what God is doing in your life, then you don't need to be in this kind of like ministry thing, because you're just taking one L after another, and you know, and the day we're all waiting for is eventually coming. So I just think everybody has to be patient. Just be a little more patient, because it's coming. It's happening. I may take a ride to Connecticut to see. I mean, I would love to. I ain't gonna lie. I would love for me and you to take a day trip. You know, me and you just drive up there and just look around and just look around. Because I really believe sometimes pictures don't do justice for stuff like that. Yeah, I would love to see. You know, but I'd have to fly to New York, meet you at the airport. We have to drive up to Connecticut. It's too much.
So we're gonna go. It's one. Wait a minute. Is this the case I'm looking for? There's so many of them.
But I will say this: please stop using all of y'all people that have these kind of probabilities. Stop putting fancy names on it, like estates and blue. Flower fields and the flower estates, honey. Just call it what it is, honey. An apartment building.
You don't remember them videos when he was talking about Whitehead estates?
That looked like the apartments over here in LA that said $99 moves you in. Or either no money moves you in, and they do that because your family gonna need the rest of the money to help with your services. That's why they say $0 move you in over here.
Oh man. Okay. So do you recall? You probably don't remember this. There was a case that was filed by none other than Whitehead.
Yeah.
And he essentially was suing Anderson's attorney. Yeah, he was suing Anderson.
I don't remember that.
It's been so many lawsuits that's been going on. So I'm gonna go over it because it was a real quick complaint.
Okay, because I was team justice for Miss Pauline.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why you blocked on all 3 locations.
That's why, because I just said justice for Miss Pauline. I said somebody go back there and get Miss Pauline.
Y'all don't remember when he sued the attorney? People
I don't remember this.
Who in the chat? Oh wow. So I'm gonna start out at paragraph 6. So plaintiff retained attorney Brian Ponder, who filed a motion to dismiss in the Anderson case. Plaintiff's motion to dismiss was filed in the Anderson case by Mr. Ponder on September 15, 2022. Plaintiff's motion to dismiss notified defendant via NYSCEF that plaintiff was represented. As of or about September 15, 2022, defendants knew that plaintiff was represented by Brian Ponder. On September 21st, 2022, defendants communicated with the plaintiff directly via a FedEx mailing. So what he was saying is that Whitehead retained him, and even though he had retained an attorney, the attorney for Anderson sent Whitehead some documents via FedEx. So that's what he's complaining about, that he communicated directly with his client, even though he was represented. On September 22nd, 2022, plaintiff received a FedEx mailing from defendants on the Anderson matter. Defendants breached their duty not to communicate with plaintiff about the Anderson matter. Defendant said duty arose under 42A of the New York Rules of Professional Conduct. Defendant's conduct proximately damaged plaintiff to incur fees, costs, and emotional distress. Wherefore, plaintiff demands a jury trial and entry of judgment in favor of plaintiff and against defendants for compensatory damage in the amount of 1,000,000,000. Yes, $1 million. Punitive damages or to be determined, court costs, attorney fees, and such others for the relief that the court deems just and proper. So he sued Anderson's attorney and the firm for sending him a FedEx package when he was represented, like it was direct communication, and said it was a violation of the rules of professional responsibility. And now he suffered emotional distress and all that good stuff.
It just this guy. It just never. It don't amaze me. It don't shock me. But he is a cold piece of work. Never in my life have we seen anything, I don't think, close to this guy, Pam.
No.
Like, this is a lot. The gall.
September 22nd of 2022. So, of course, the attorneys filed a motion to dismiss like almost immediately after they received this. And the court just now, last week, I believe, actually did an order and granting their motion to dismiss. So this was what the court said. So this is their opinion. It was a 2-page opinion, so we can go over it. Plaintiff Lamar Whitehead commenced this action against defendants Peter Manuel Riviera and Richter Restro at PLLC. Defendants alleging defendants breached their duty not to communicate with plaintiff pursuant to Rule 4.2A of the Rules of Professional Responsibility and seeking damages of $1 million. Defendants moved to dismiss this action and for sanctions. Plaintiff has not responded to the motion. This action arises out of a matter pending in Kings County Supreme Court, Pauline Anderson v. Lamar Whitehead and Lamar Whitehead, Inc., where defendants represent the plaintiff, Pauline Anderson. In this action, plaintiff's one-page complaint alleges that plaintiff retained Brian Ponder, Esquire, as counsel in the Kings County action, who filed a motion to dismiss on September 15, 2022. Thereafter, on September 21st, 2022, plaintiff received mail via FedEx directly from defendants related to the Kings County action. Plaintiff claims this conduct, which he maintains is a breach of RPC Rule 4.2A, approximately damaged plaintiff to incur fees, costs, and emotional distress. In support of their motion, defendants state that the notice of appearance filed in the Kings County action was on behalf of Lamar Whitehead, Inc. only. That motion to dismiss were filed separately for Lamar Whitehead and Lamar Whitehead, Inc., and that Mr. Ponder sought an extension of time to respond in the Kings County action on behalf of Lamar Whitehead, Inc. only. Defendants state that thereafter they filed an order to show cause seeking emergency relief in the Kings County action, and on September 21st, they sent notice pursuant to 22 NYCPR Section 202 to Mr. Ponder via email with a courtesy copy to plaintiff via FedEx. The order to show cause was signed on October 3rd, 2022, and personal service was directed upon counsel for defendant Lamar Whitehead, Inc. and upon defendant Lamar Whitehead. Even when read in the light most favorable to the plaintiff, plaintiff fails to state a cause of action upon which relief can be granted. There is no private right of action against an attorney or law firm for violation of the Code of Professional Responsibility or disciplinary rule. According to the motion to dismiss is granted. The other relief sought is denied. This constitutes the decision and order of the court. So they didn't order sanctions. They just dismissed the case, but they didn't order sanctions against Whitehead and his attorney that was being asked by the attorney. So all I'm saying is this the type of stuff that be getting filed over there. That's all.
And that goes back to to Rudy, the original story, Pam, because people know that the civil and whatever system there is very lax and possibly broken. And if you know that you can get away with filing frivolous motions, claims, whatever, then you run amok. That's why I say this man is running around New York like a leprechaun, a little legal leprechaun, and filing all of these frivolous, it's sad. And there are people that have real legitimate claims and situations, and they're backlogged because of stuff like this.
And the court pretty much said that there's no cause of action. So if you know there's no cause of action, how is there no type of penalty for that? If there's no cause of action, how do you say that it shouldn't be any type of sanctions because you filed? Because you're talking about an attorney. So that means that he probably had to contact his malpractice insurance because the whole firm was sued and him. Because you got to have malpractice insurance. So you got to contact them. They have to be aware. They make your stuff, your malpractice insurance go up if you use them for anything. I'm not saying that they did. They may have just paid out their pocket and paid, an attorney. But you had to pay somebody to represent you and to respond. You see what I'm saying? So people are coming out of, you got to come out of money for some of this stuff. Even if you win like they did on a motion, you got to come out of money for this stuff.
And the court, without anything being handed out as far as discipline or sanction or anything, I think it actually emboldens these people, Pam, to do it again and do worse.
I saw a lawsuit that was filed. Look at Ray Whitehead has a panic attack every time an Amazon.
Ray, that's my Ray. Oh my God.
Marnie says, I live in New York. We have to pay for every filing in the court system. I'm starting to think as long as the court gets paid, the court doesn't care. And I was going to say that because I was looking for,
That's a good point.
I think it was the lawsuit with Nosy Ho. And before I knew it was in federal, and I was first looking for it. And when I was looking at that lawsuit, it was somebody who filed against Nicki Minaj. So I said, oh, let me pull this up. And they did it pro se. If you've seen that lawsuit, you would be looking like, what? She wrote it out. It was against Nicki Minaj. She did it against Puff Daddy. She did it against
Well, who next? Mary J. Blige?
She did it against Jay-Z. She did it against almost every rapper. And you didn't know what she was talking about. And it was just written out. I mean, I wonder if I still had it because I couldn't believe it.
Oh my God, that sounds like somebody that was touched, Pam, slightly touched.
But she was able to file it. And I think they have it where if you're indigent, then they'll pay your filing fees.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to you don't even have to like pay. Let me see if I can find it. I might have got rid of it. I might have got scared. Yeah, I think I got scared.
And she did it by hand. She wrote it by hand, Pam?
She wrote it out. She wrote her complaint, and I was reading it, and it took me a while to even figure out what was happening. And then I got nervous. I was like, what is this?
Like, what the hell?
Like somebody was watching me or something. I was looking around like somebody.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so yeah, that's that. So anyway, I was showing those to let you know this is kind of how New York is seen with, tying it in with the whole Rudy Giuliani situation. It's just very interesting, the things that are coming out of New York.
Yeah, New York. I'm not acting like LA is just this bastion of judicial cohesiveness, but it seemed like New York is, honey, listen, just a free for all. Come in, do whatever you want to do, make it do what it do.
Whitehead is listed as the registered agent of S&B Hardware in Buffalo, New York. Well, what is S&B Hardware? So he own a hardware store? What is that?
He's just a entrepreneur. He's a regular old entrepreneur, isn't he?
Yes, he always got something going. Exactly, Tice. He should be like they have done in other states, stop him from being able to sue anyone that this happens out there. It was California. No, I think when you get hit with some sanctions or attorney fees, it changes your person. You're gonna think twice.
You'll slow down.
Or even because they have where attorneys can get hit with sanctions too. So if you're an attorney and you end up getting hit with sanctions and you got to pay out your pocket because you're doing something on behalf of a client, that'll slow you down as well. So, but in this case, I guess the court was like, well, maybe they didn't know it wasn't a cause of action, so maybe it wasn't sanction worthy.
So what's the next thing coming up, Pam, with Greasy? Is there anything in the pipeline?
He had there was a hearing today. I think it was the Moses case. So I have to see if he was trying to get a permanent injunction because if you guys are not aware, Whitehead signed, he has the deed to 5904 Foster Avenue, which is the building the church was in. He has that deed in his name. And so Moses is saying that it was fraudulently transferred. We went over that document as well. So he had requested a hearing to get an injunction against Whitehead from, his whole complaint is trying to extinguish the deed because he's saying the deed is fraudulent, but he wanted an injunction in the meantime. So they gave it to him temporarily until he came to court today. And then I guess he's supposed to perhaps submit an order or something and they may sign it. I don't know. But if they sign it, I'll let you guys know. But it was supposed to be that hearing was set for today.
So at that hearing, Pam, he has to show how it was fraudulently obtained?
No, I think from what I've seen, I got to double check because I got a little bit of the information from the hearing this morning, but I started working and then I didn't go back and get the full details. So I have to come back and tell you guys the full details, or if I'm on your platform, I may have to tell y'all the details. But I only know from the part that I was given this morning before I started working was that I know Moses' attorney was there and he essentially was going to submit some papers for perhaps the judge to sign. And because Glory of God also has a case against Whitehead, and Whitehead has a case against Glory of God and landlord tenant, I think they're trying to combine and consolidate all the cases, because you got all that's going to be like 3 different cases going on at the same time.
Okay.
They're trying to combine them. So I know that was another thing that they were trying to do. So it's gonna all come out. We about to find out about Glory of God. We gonna find out about Moses now. We gonna find out about Whitehead. We gonna find out about Gross. Whoever else is involved, we should be able to find out as this progresses.
Oh, we're gonna have a real juicy week. Go get him. We're gonna have a real juicy week, man. Go get him.
I saw that. Did you see that? Did you see that video with is somebody that was talking about him preaching? He was preaching from Wikipedia.
Oh my God, I watched that and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was in Atlanta, couldn't sleep, and I howled. And she gave the actual word he was trying to say.
Yes.
I said, you know what? I can't do this. I said, I hope these people don't put me out this hotel. Yeah, and he was preaching from Wikipedia, like, bro, give up the preaching. Sell suits. Sell them suits you be wearing. Be a suit salesman.
The person's information. I will put it in the chat so y'all can watch it, because it was a hoot. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know what
that was funny,
but it was kind of funny. And he was trying to sound like he's saying he's looking up in the air like he's thinking, but he's really just reading it directly from Wikipedia. And then she shows like word for word where he got it from. I said, "Oh my goodness!"
Like this guy, it's a lot of things you can do. You can be a chapstick, a lip gloss spokesperson. It's a lot you can do. Leave this ministry alone. Just leave it alone. You could be a pink eyeglass salesman. Just leave ministry. It's just not for you. Because I don't feel nothing, and I know the Lord. I don't feel nothing.
You don't feel nothing.
I don't feel nothing, Pam.
Nothing in your tingle tangles,
baby. It's just like, watch this. What are you talking about? Watch this. What are we watching? You've said that 10 times.
Oh my goodness. His name is Thais. You gotta take that I route though. But
please, so I tell people, please take that R out. That R just please take the R out.
It's gonna be another juicy week. I guess I gotta go get more ice cream because you guys make me laugh and I need my ice cream just to sit and listen every
It's gonna be it look like it's gonna be if they consolidate and like you said, Pam, and all that stuff come out around the same time, that's gonna be a hot week.
It's gonna be interesting. But I'm telling you, I'm not coming out every day talking about this guy. There's a whole lot of things that's going on that we be talking about over here. But I'll try to slide it in as I slide it in. But
yeah, because the truth of the matter is, man, you're so right. There are so many legal cases going on right now. And you can spread it. I know this what everybody like normally kind of flocks to. But there is a lot going on in the legal world outside of Greasy. So yeah, I feel you on that.
And it's starting to be repetitive. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff now is starting where I'm not really like my biggest passion even for this platform is that I'm teaching you something you don't know or you understand legalese in plain English, as we said. And it's like with this, it's kind of real repetitive with a lot of stuff that's going on with him. So unless it's something super exciting, I can't.
It's like, and I tell you, it's like Greasy filed a motion. Greasy just went and refiled the motion. Greasy filed a new motion. And it's like, after a while, it's like, all you're doing is refiling and filing and filing and refiling and getting continuances. So after a while, he's like, okay, how many times can we say he's doing this?
Yeah, that's just all my point is. Then it's like, I appreciate all the emails, inboxes, and all of that, but then I get 50 of the same ones, like every day about it. And it's like, you know what?
And somebody, I don't want to say the person's name, but they were like, I see in the prophetic that we're going to be with this man for 5 years, this story. And I'm like, 5 years? She really, she's like, I won't say her name, but she said, I see in the spirit that this story is going to be with us for 5 more years.
Not me.
Not Tyrese Jackson. I don't know about nobody else.
If it get like how I can tie it in like how I was here on, certain lawsuits that you like, what? Whatever, and tie it in like that, or it's real quick, then yeah. But all this going over line by line, precept by precept, I just can't anymore. I'm force myself to talk about them now. So
it's draining. It's what you've done. You've done such a great work with the other situation, Pam, and helping helping the people and stuff. Like you can really say, I can relax now and just see how all of these cards just unfold. I don't have to be like really every day going hard, because you've done such a phenomenal job. And I'm not being obsequious. I'm just saying that you've done your due diligence and you've done great work. So now you can sit back and relax and cover what you want to cover at your leisure on this matter.
Yeah, like with Glory of God, the thing that made me go as hard as I did with them is that they were fighting. Like they were fighting themselves, And it's like a lot of people, I get a lot of inboxes and I get a lot of DMs, and it's all these anonymous people. But I'm like, well, what are you doing to help yourself when it comes to him? Like, I'm not the person that's supposed to just cover everybody and be the get back person in your mind, because that wasn't my purpose at all. My purpose was really to go over, and just legal cases that are out there. He just so happened to have a whole lot. I didn't know this guy before the robbery at all. So I had no reason. It's just, they were what was that person was what was trending. And then it was case after case after case. And me, I got to complete. You see, I talked about Rudy Giuliani. I talked about this. This was like one of my first videos I uploaded when I started YouTube over a year ago. So, yeah. But thank you guys for watching. Go ahead.
And I don't think, Pam, I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't think that all of us, the bloggers, are going to have withdrawal symptoms from greasy. Honey, there is something going on every 20 minutes in the blogosphere. We'll be okay.
Yeah. And we talk a lot of stuff legally offline. Like, it's just about choosing what we want to actually come on and talk about. Or for me, I have to know that when I start something, do I have the time to thoroughly follow it until the end? Because who want to just hear the complaint, but you don't want to hear the response? Or if they go to trial, you don't want anybody following the trial. That was like with Tory Lanez. When I started out on day one, I just wanted to stay for 3 days. When I realized it was going to be 2 weeks, I stayed in California for 2 weeks. Because it's like I start covering something and giving your people commentary, and then you just stop. To the conclusion. And then with this, it's like I would have never guessed it was going to be this many issues with them. So
he says we're making hundreds of thousands of dollars off him, Bam. Wow. What account is it in? What account do I go to?
Let me tell you, Whitehead. If I could make hundreds and thousands of dollars off you, I promise you I'll give you 10%. You ain't got to worry about no time. I'm telling you, you'll be good. If I could make that type of money off of you, you'll be good. I'm not stingy.
I will do this. I will do this because I have a box of it, and most of them are brand new. I'm not going to give you 10%, but I will give you this box. I will give you these because I know you like these.
Not all the lip balm.
I will do that for you. I ain't going to give you no 10%. Nah. But I will give you all of these. Most of them are still in the seal.
You said you ain't gonna give him 10%.
I'm not giving him nothing. I wouldn't give you a dime. The way you didn't cut up with these damn people, Miss Pauline. And Miss Pauline, listen, if you get any type of what they call it, restitution, we're gonna need you to go somewhere and sit down. Please, Miss Pauline. If you get anything, any kind of envelope of restitution. Don't do that again, Miss Pauline.
Thank you so much, Tori. Oh, that little name calling ain't bothered me for real.
No.
It didn't at all. We were laughing behind the scenes. Now, my husband, a whole different story, but he got a different personality. We got. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, as always, my special guest and good friend, for coming on here today and offering your comedic commentary as always.
I appreciate you.
What you got going on, so we could tell everybody to go around there and
Right now I'm trying to, because with Tina Turner passing, that took a lot out of me because I really love Tina. So I'm just gonna do something quick at 6 o'clock West Coast, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. East Coast. Just something really quick. I want to talk about Tina. I want to talk about Raspy very quickly, and I want to talk about Derek Jackson's wife. Um,
Good.
that
That was
interview. That's
good.
part one. I can't wait to see part two, fam.
Man, it's supposed to be tomorrow. It's part 2 tomorrow.
I don't know, but I'll be there.
It was good. Like
Yeah,
she didn't look as cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when it was over with to me. Like the naivety, of course, she looked like, but she was a kid. She was like 19. She was the ugly duckling and all. Well, I ain't gonna give y'all but y'all
You know what I think?
gonna
Really quickly, you know what I think, Pam? I think that young lady, because I've been there close to it, I think she was in the throes of a nervous breakdown when she was making all them videos. I think she's got herself together. She's either talked to a therapist or a pastor or got on some medication or something because
she
that
was
woman,
calm, wasn't she? And she made sense. And
that woman we saw in that video, Pam, is not the woman from the videos we saw.
Oh yeah.
It's two different people, so she's got herself together.
Yeah, and she tried to do something with herself. I'm like, I'm not saying you gotta always put makeup on or whatever, but do something. Like you gotta do something for you. She would just come out and then it was like you cursing everybody and binding everybody. Like she was got that Bible and she was mad at everybody. She said, all y'all be cursed. I'm like,
yeah, she was like Carrie Mama in the movie Carrie. I was like,
but to come out though and to admit that he been cheating basically since you met him.
She has revealed. I'm gonna say this, Pam, and I don't want to give away too much because I know your audience may want to go watch. She revealed textbook 101 masterclass grooming. That was grooming.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if that started that young with you and moved along like the whole relationship, he must have evidently had a whole thing that he was planning, allegedly. These are my opinions. So
because you're almost on two opposite sides of the earth. If you're like the nerd that nobody likes, and well, I don't want to say nobody likes that, maybe too far, but you're like that awkward person, super smart and all of that. And then you're the jock that's kind of failing in school, but you need her brain, who typically that jock is going to be with the cheerleader or be with the popular person. And you should like.
There was an episode of Moesha with this same situation. Jock came in, flirted with Moesha, and then made Moesha do his homework. So it happens. Like I know this could be something beneficial to me. Let me flirt with her, but let me also I can see where I can groom her into something else over time.
He filed for divorce against her.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
that's why she was so hurt. That's why she said she was so hurt. I guess she was blindsided.
I thought she dumped him.
She was blindsided, and then he filed for divorce, and then he was down in Miami with another woman.
I might have to go. I see when he was down in Miami and was posting up the pictures. I might have to go and get that divorce complaint. That might be something I go ahead and talk about.
It is truly
the divorce complaint.
Baby, listen, she went through what's her name? Janiyah. She went through it, Pam.
Oh, I see. But yeah,
and publicly. And then you got the other women, you got women in his chat that follow him talking about, I could have been a better woman for you. Yeah, get rid of it. It's like I can only imagine what that lady went through, like to go through that publicly in front of the world. And then your husband is a public figure and people in the chat making fun of you. Like they talking about her tam, you know what I'm saying? They say she looked like Celie.
They were mean to her.
They were horrible to that lady.
She shows y'all she can clean up. People have been apologizing to her like you went. I knew something wasn't right with her when she was doing that. When she sat there trying to look like Hillary Clinton when Bill was talking about I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I was like, that's how she was looking next to him, just looking like, that whole I'm standing by my man, like Kobe.
But it was a mixture of she was shell shocked. like she was a hostage, being like she was so stiff.
But
You
that
can
little
see
painter's hat didn't help when she came on there with that little paint. Like, at least fix yourself. Like, why he ain't say go look good for this so people,
yeah, and then he gonna say, I liked her. I liked her Tam. You didn't like that Tam, Derek. She looked like she was leading Bible study. You know what I'm saying?
But was he
Yeah.
supposed to be a minister in the church? Look, we done went to a hole to the right.
Oh no, he wasn't. He's not he's a life coach and a relationship guru. A la Kevin Samuels, a la Andrew Tate, you know.
How you giving relationship and she was watching him give relationship advice knowing that he was a complete.
She basically was saying that, yeah, I stayed and I was looking and I saw a lot. And you know, she gonna need a lot of therapy. She's gonna need a lot of prayer supplication, Pam. She need to go to the next woman that are loose for real.
They did the
and just fall across the altar.
They did the finale. She missed it. She need to go there when with why no more sheets. Why?
Well, I thought Sarah was gonna reinvent it.
She doing that woman evolved. I think. That's
okay. Listen, for Color Girls, the Women of Brewster Plays, the Color Purple. Baby, listen, I can't keep up. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Honey, they got all these titles and stuff. Mama, I want to sing. Listen. Okay. Well, I got it now. Woman Evolved. Got it. Yeah, so I'm praying for her because she do look like she's in a better place, fam.
Yeah, she does. She definitely does. So, but thank you so much, Thais, for coming on.
I love you.
I love you more.
And I will see y'all. If you want to stop by the official Thais Report, I'll see y'all at 6 o'clock West Coast, 9 p.m. Eastern.
All right. We'll talk to you next time, everybody.